turn this problem of waste management into a fantastic low carbon opportunity for the future.
This is going to be a game changer.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We have to work to get India down a low carbon path.
That makes me curious. Why India? Why not any other place in the world?
India has the capability to do just that. It is embarking on the largest energy transformation program in the world.
Yeah. Hey Kevin, this is an awesome opportunity having a conversation with you. For all those who don't know Kevin Houston, he's been in India over a decade now. And Kevin is from the Great Britain, and he has been in India for almost a decade now, and he is working towards the cleaner, greener India. Almost a decade now, right?
Yeah.
A big challenge.
Oh yeah.
Big challenge. Yeah. I can sense that, and this conversation, that we want to do here is not only about the challenges, but about what you really want for India. With all these months I've known you, I've seen that urge. I've seen that urge in Kevin. Come on, we need to do this. We need to get there. We need to do this, and we need to get there. I've been hearing it, and I've been hearing so many aspects of it. So I thought, it's a great idea to have this conversation, and for people of India and the world, to see exactly what you think and what you've been doing in India for the last 10 years. The government of India needs to see, the state governments need to see, the corporates needs to see, all those associated with you already, and the great initiatives that you guys have been taking as Carbon Masters, and you being the founder of Carbon Masters in India. People need to see, what has happened and what you guys are planning ahead. So let me begin with what's your view in few lines, in India, and then we'll go to the geo situation overall.
Well, as you say, I've spent 10 years now in India, and I've had the pleasure of traveling across a lot of it and seen a lot of it.
Right.
India's, and the reason we're here, we got involved in the climate change issue way back in the UK in 2012. And Som my co-founder was from Bangalore, and we came back to Bangalore, and we set up Carbon Masters as an Indian company.
Yeah.
But India, if we don't, India, the issue with climate, particularly, which is the business we're in, if you look at India, if India does not go down a low carbon path, then, and the reason I'm still here at my age is that my grandchildren are going to grow up in a scorched earth. Yeah. And the reason for that is because India is going to be the fastest growing energy market every year for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Because the average Indian consumes less energy today than most people in Southeast Asia, much less what we're consuming in Europe and America.
Correct.
So unless we can get India down a low carbon path, we can all forget 2 degrees, much less 1.5.
Yeah.
The good news is India has the capability to do just that. It is embarking on the largest energy transformation program in the world.
Yes.
In terms of what it's trying to do with renewable energy, what it's trying to do with biofuels. So it is, if you want to solve carbon, India is the place to be right now, despite all its challenges, and they are, many and several. It's the place to be because there are, despite all the difficulties, I'm still, after 10 years, very optimistic that with the right political will, which is beginning to shape up, with citizen engagement, which we're seeing a lot more of now. Recently there were some riots in Delhi about the pollution.
Yeah.
First time the country has seen that.
The country has seen that. Absolutely. Yeah.
So yes, there are enormous challenges, but the goal's pretty clear. We have to work to get India down a low carbon path, not only for India itself, but unless we do that, the rest of the world. For all the UK efforts, and there are many, we constitute less than 2% of global emissions. You know, India is already going to be the largest carbon emitter, given the way it's developing.
All the attributes you can see, you know,
Exactly.
everything surrounding it. So that, you know, that makes me curious, and I'm pretty sure all the people, you know, going to view this, hear this, will also get curious. Why India? Why not any other place in the world?
For us, the happy accident. I met my co-founder Som when we were both studying in
Som
Edinburgh.
Narayan, yes.
And he was keen to come back home. I mean, we spent 3 or 4 years doing a carbon management consulting business in the UK, and then he returned to Bangalore. And then we started to see what the opportunity here was. Largely because we started out looking at municipal solid waste, and that's a huge challenge. The garbage problem in India is enormous.
Yes.
Every city is affected by it.
Yes. Isn't it the same everywhere else in the world, which is not totally developed, you know, sector?
India is not alone in that.
Yeah.
Most of Southeast Asia is the same way.
When we look at Southeast Asia, when we look at,
And indeed,
different
waste
parts of
is a
the world.
problem even in developed countries.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what India did, it followed what it thought was the right example set by the West, which was to landfill waste.
Right.
That's not the solution.
Right.
And the Europeans and the Americans have both realized that too now.
Correct.
It's not the right answer.
It's a
So
right
it needs to
solution, yes.
find better solutions to manage its waste.
So that's going on for decades now.
Yeah.
But now I think things are changing. There are technologies and
Well, yes. I mean, I shock a lot of Indians really in talks that I give around the country that, you know, India gave yoga to the world. It also gave biogas to the world, because the very first biogas plant in the world was built in Maharashtra in 1857, I think.
Wow, 1857.
Yeah, I think the following year, I thought,
year.
exactly.
Yeah.
I thought the following year, Bristol, the city of Bristol in the UK, did a biogas plant for street lighting. And lots of people tell you, oh, it was done in the UK, but it was a year later. So, you know, India did that. So it's had biogas plants. I mean, I think there's an interesting story. Back in the 70s, when Indira Gandhi, Mrs. Gandhi was the prime minister, the story was that if you were visiting India as part of a political delegation, she would take you to a facility just outside Delhi, and she would point at it and she would say, gentlemen, because unfortunately back then political leadership was all men, she would say, that is India's future. And what she was pointing at was a biogas plant. And in essentially still a rural dominated India, she saw biogas as the way of getting India to develop, because if the rural community could take cow dung and agricultural waste and create raw gas, they could cook with it and they would get a fertilizer that they could back in the soil.
Yeah.
And she thought that could be the way that lifted out. Now, the government tried back in the 70s and they tried in the 90s with big biogas programs. Unfortunately, they had very mixed results. The difference today is, I believe, with new what's called purification technologies, you can strip the impurities out of that raw biogas, and you end up with essentially fuel-grade methane, which we call biomethane. It's called CBG in India. Won't get into the reasons for that, but we call it biomethane. Now, a biomethane molecule is extremely flexible. First of all, it's because that methane molecule is formed from an organic source. When you burn it, you can't change the chemistry of it. It will release CO2. The difference between biomethane and fossil biomethane is it's coming from an organic source. So the CO2 it's releasing is only the equivalent of what that organic material took out of the atmosphere when it was alive. So you're basically doing this.
Yes.
So it's essentially a carbon neutral fuel.
Correct.
Unlike, so when it replaces a fossil fuel, as we do, you put it in a car engine, you're not burning diesel or CNG, those are fossil fuels. Or as we do in kitchens, you're not burning LPG, you're burning out gas, you are saving carbon.
Correct.
So it's a very flexible molecule with lots of applications. And I think the world's only now beginning to wake up to that.
Yeah.
It's for years and years been biogas. It's been a sort of niche idea across the world. Suddenly with both the climate issue, but also what's happening geopolitically. When Russia invaded Ukraine, Russia was the big supplier of gas to Germany and the rest of Europe. That all stopped. So suddenly you're dependent on an outside source for your energy. Biomethane suddenly goes right up the political agenda, and it is, and it's happening in Europe. But under that legislation, there were significant government support to build what they call renewable natural gas, to build those plants to handle the emerging issue in America with food waste and to manage the agricultural waste.
Yes.
So right around the world, biomethane is going up the political agenda, because A, the technology is now available to make a biomethane molecule, and secondly, there are imperatives like the climate change imperative, that biomethane can play a very important role in helping us move towards our net zero goals.
That's a great way to put it.